welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. 103 right now with mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 50s to lower 60s across the area, but we're all on our way to warming up nice and toasty for this afternoon. A couple light showers around the area as well, and we'll touch on those throughout our show, as well as the forecast around the area, national weather, and a bunch of ag headlines that, well, Bridget, we didn't get to yesterday again.
Keep trying, Justin.
We might not today either.
Well, we're going to try.
We've got a fun guest coming in.
We are waiting for our fun guest. That will be Amanda Nigg, Farm Fit Mama from Sisseton in South Dakota. She did text me and say they had a hiccup in farming this morning and in the middle of combining season. Not real sure what that might mean, but we're keeping our eye out for when she arrives.
Well, when she comes in, she can tell us what kind of clanking or banging sound is coming from the combine, and you can diagnose that.
And it might just be the fact that she's got her war bell like mine in the combine. Maybe that's what's making noise.
You see, that's what they stick on the front of the tractor to weigh it down, right?
So you wouldn't believe how many people tell me it looks like a suitcase weight, but it's not. And it is actually...
It looks just like one.
It's John Deere's color, and it was built at a foundry in Andover, South Dakota by the guy who owns it is Corey Anderson, who also owns Horsch Anderson out at Mapleton. They build tillage equipment and planters.
Nice.
Well, air seeders, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was a custom-made one, or it was made for people in the tractors. I thought it looked kind of cool.
This got made for those of us who lift them.
You got to lift weights there, buddy.
Yeah, we don't do that over at the house. My arms, they're just blowing in the wind.
Speaking of wind, it's going to be like hurricane force wind, so keep that image in mind as you're waving your arms.
Near. Man, what are we seeing? Gusts to about 30 miles an hour right now.
Yeah, at least we're not dealing with what they're dealing with down in Florida, so we can thank our lucky stars. We'll take this win.
Speaking of that, I mean, we'll touch on it throughout the show, but thankfully it has weakened substantially. I mean, the winds are less than half of what they were just yesterday when it was making its way on land, and very likely that they might upgrade this to a Category 5 hurricane. I'm seeing a couple of reports of 158 mile per hour winds, which is
at landfall,
which would be 2 miles an hour over the Category 5 threshold.
I do have a question after we get a chance to talk weather in one of our segments today, and that is, do hurricanes generally lose wind speed or gain as they make landfall?
They lose.
They lose. Okay,
Yes.
It takes away the energy.
The reason being is because when you're in open waters, hurricanes feed off of warm ocean water temperatures. So when you have friction, in other words, land mass, once they hit that friction, they will start to lose a lot of their not only wind speed but momentum a lot of times too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when they go over, let's say Puerto Rico or Cuba, especially Puerto Rico, maybe some of the Dominican where they have some mountains, they'll lose a little bit of their punch, but they're not over the small islands that long, and then they regain strength once they get in the open waters.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good question, though.
Once it hit the West Coast, it came in at about 155, 158 again, mile per hour sustained winds. By the time it exits Florida on the other side, it's down to 70. So thankfully it has weakened quite a bit, but they're expecting that could re-strengthen and make a secondary landfall. I believe it was in Georgia or South Carolina, right around the border.
Just northeast of Savannah and South Carolina, but much weaker. But they still have to deal with the flooding.
Yep, storm surge could still see upwards of 5 feet, I think I saw earlier today. So something to watch over the next couple of days, and thankfully it's much weaker, but still causing a lot of damage. And, well, again, like I said, we'll touch on the hurricane throughout the show, and we'll get to a few of our ag headlines today. We want to try and get to what is this? Cattle rustling?
Did you know that cattle rustling is still a thing?
No way.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah,
is this like cow tipping?
Not quite. I'm not going to let you go that far.
Is this like WWE?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to keep shooting you down on all these right now. But the reality is people will still steal cattle. You can. And we actually saw more of that in the pandemic as folks got hiccups in the supply chain, felt they couldn't get food in a timely or efficient economical fashion.
Now, aren't they branded, though, or
they
tagged?
Usually you have your animals tagged or branded, but if they're tagged, you can cut the tags off. There are RFID tags that you can use now, like 701X locally builds them. So there are things that you can do, but generally you get caught. And there is an organization, this happens to be in Texas and Oklahoma, the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association, and they have a group of elite law enforcement officers. So it's
I bet you don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, it's maybe a couple notches down from Yellowstone, but it feels like that.
Right. Well, we have all that and so much more coming up here on Weather and Ag in Focus. If you'd like to give us a call and join our conversation at any point during our show, feel free to reach us on our studio line, 701-293-9000. Again, that phone number being 701 293-9000. You can always send us emails during or after the show, weather or ag at flagfamily.com. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, Weather and Ag in Focus. We're giving away a couple rain gauges on there. We'll have more details on that right after ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Still assessing the damage across the state of Florida. Ian came ashore as a strong Category 4 hurricane plowing into Sanibel Island and Fort Myers, then moving northeast up the peninsula over Orlando. ABC's Rob Marciano is in St. Petersburg.
The bulk of the storm has moved to the northeastern part of the state. We're still getting a little bit of wind here, but it's now finally safe for rescue crews, first responders, and aircraft to get to the people that called in for help during the storm but couldn't get to at that point. A lot of people were calling in, going to the second, third floors of their home, and now those people need to be, at the very least, checked on.
Earlier today, the sheriff of Lee County, home of Fort Myers, said they had received hundreds of calls for help that they hadn't been able to respond to yet. More than 2 million power outages across Florida so far. The wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is speaking today with the January 6th committee.
Jenny Thomas showed up in person at the offices of the House committee investigating the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol. That committee has sought to question her over her efforts to push state officials to reject the outcome of the 2020 election in their states. At the same time, Thomas was also communicating with the Trump White House, including then Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Her lawyer has said Thomas is eager to answer the committee's questions to clear up any misconceptions about her work relating to the 2020 election.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. The Kremlin announcing it will annex 4 eastern regions of Ukraine where sham elections were held, showing overwhelming support for Russian rule. Meantime,
inside Russia, the flight over the borders continues. Thousands of men fleeing into neighboring countries to escape Putin's military draft. The U.S. Embassy in Moscow now urging all American citizens in Russia to leave the country immediately amid fears they could be conscripted into Russia's troubled war in Ukraine.
ABC Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell. Vice President Harris on her way back from a 4-day Asian trip. Earlier today, she visited the DMZ between North and South Korea. This is ABC News.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit
Hi, this is Stacy from Midtown Tavern, featuring Dwayne's House of Pizza. Who else in town has a glycol polar plate system? What? It's a secondary system for chilling tap beer. Put that in one of our frosted mugs and it's the coldest beer in town. Everyone wants the coldest beer. Midtown Tavern has it. Combine that with a Dwayne's Pizza, as well as our vast menu with many handmade menu items, specials every day of the week, and a multi-purpose room up to 50 people. Stop in to visit us. The Midtown Tavern, 2223 Highway 10 East in Moorhead.
Looking to dress up your garage or patio? The concrete experts at Prairie Supply can help with any size concrete project. From design to delivery, we have built a great reputation renting equipment for your project needs. They have a large inventory of rental tools and equipment for decorative concrete, including stamps, polishing equipment, and a variety of tools designed to make your dream a reality. Prairie Supply, the contractor's headquarters. For more info, go to prairiesupply.com.
From the North Dakotas for Comprehensive Energy Solutions Studios in Fargo, it's WDAY Midday, your best source for news, weather, and agriculture. Your daily afternoon focus on weather and agriculture starts now.
Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with a meteorologist extraordinaire, Justin Storm, and our wonderful, talented Ag Director, Bridget Riedel.
Present.
Look at, we have Bridget in studio today.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have her here.
It is.
You know, she's like a ray of sunshine. among
like
the clouds.
Yeah,
Look
but
at how
I'm
bright
your
it is.
mom. I brought you beer from Laughing Sun Brewery in
You
Bismarck.
did.
They were a
you
guest
did.
last
Thank you.
week.
We are definitely
Already had
yes.
4 of them.
Justin, storm, behave over there.
So before we went to break, we were talking about cattle rustling, and
We were.
this is really still a thing. Now, is it other farm hands, or other ranchers that are taking the opposing cattle,
Well,
or
it can be a variety of anything. So in the story that we have from Texas and Oklahoma, this was someone unrelated to that operation who swiped 3 head, loaded them in a trailer, hauled them away, tried to sell them. Now, we also have brand inspectors at livestock auction barns specifically for that reason, to check the brands. And if you don't have the correlating brand, you have to have a release from the person with that brand so you can sell. So that can be discovered. But there are cases where if those critters are swiped and essentially butchered, you wouldn't know where they went. Right? So rustling is still real and alive. That's why we have Stockman's Association, and then there is this livestock association in Texas and Oklahoma that tracks them down. They literally have, like a sheriff's department, the ability to arrest folks, etc.
Wow.
interesting?
You know, our producer today, Spencer's wrestled some cattle in his day.
Wrestled or rustled?
Well, both.
Okay, let's go
I don't know
with
if
that.
he's got a story he wants to share with us about it, but
No story.
All
but
right.
I was around that. My uncle actually still does some of that rodeo action there. So
Nice.
I've
Okay.
learned through the years from him and that experience. And that is an athlete. I'll tell you that. You
Yes,
do
they
that.
are. Yeah, I don't know that everybody realizes that, but really when you rodeo, okay, and so now we've moved from the criminal element to the sportsman-like. That really is a lot of work. I have a brother-in-law who used to bull ride, and we finally talked him into wearing a protective vest because unlike race cars, the bull chases you when you're done. The race car usually stops at the end of the run. Keep that in mind.
No thanks.
All right. So
so-
a couple other things you want to talk about, Justin?
yeah, let's go to the stray voltage in a dairy herd.
Okay, so this comes from Sleepy Eye, Minnesota. This was a dairy farm that built new facilities in 2011, and in that time frame, they had some brownouts, power outages, etc., and voltage built up in their equipment. So their cows, when they would touch metal or water, like the waterers, where they would get to drink out of, they would get a shock. Now, for you and I, like static electricity, we'd call that annoying and move on. Tends to really upset cows. They were
I
no
bet.
longer producing milk. They had birth
Whoa.
defects in the calves, and they were unable to diagnose it until 2016. It went through, the power company wasn't able to find the cause. They had a master electrician come in and finally be able to say, this is what's going on. This is the problem that we see. And since that time, they have been able to put in a different transformer, bring 3-phase in, and also work out a financial settlement with the power company. But yes, that caused a tremendous drop-off in their herd production. So something to keep in mind there.
Who would have guessed?
Not often that you hear about stray voltage in livestock operations, especially in dairy.
No, definitely not. And kind of staying on the same lines of cattle and beef, meat. What do we got going on here? This was a topic that we wanted to get to yesterday about transportation training to protect animals and the meat quality.
So when you think about what goes on a daily basis for moving livestock around, I don't think many folks realize that those who handle the trucking, so you can call it a bull rack, a cattle pot, whatever you want to call it, they actually go through something called beef quality assurance. And so that they have safe handling methods with the livestock, how they can prevent them from having, weight loss, how they take care of them on long hauls if you're moving and transporting longer than a 12 or 18-hour period. But then also the big packers like JBS, et cetera, require that when you arrive, you show your beef quality assurance card that you know and understand how to handle cattle well. They require that. And additionally, when you do that, if you had an emergency, you would have some procedures in mind that you would use in order to prevent death loss, that type of thing. You got to really work to keep cows alive. I'll say
It
that.
definitely sounds like it.
And it looks like Walmart is investing in a local beef processor.
They are. Didn't you guys talk about this on Friday when I was gone?
We touched on it a little bit.
Okay.
And I reached out. I'm still waiting to hear back from the CEO. I still have a lot of connections in Nebraska, and a friend of a friend knows the CEO of that company. So I've reached out to him, have not heard back. I'm sure they're busy, but to try and get him on our show. I think it was 5 or 6 ranchers went together on this business, I believe.
There were. I think there's 8.
Okay.
And they actually made a deal with a process with Walmart. It's called Sustainable Beef is their business, and they signed the deal. Now, I'm not a huge Walmart fan or shopper, but I think it's pretty neat that they do want to buy locally with the sustainable beef from that operation, because it just proves that Walmart's trying to be a good neighbor in this case. So that's pretty awesome.
And this would lead to more competition, would it not? Like with some of the local producers or the bigger companies, I should say?
Yeah, I think it could help. It just shows that Walmart's willing to open the door in a variety of ways to buy more local. So I think that's a tremendous asset to what Walmart's doing. And again, it's not that I want to buy all my beef from Walmart, but if I knew I could buy it locally from ranchers right in Nebraska, I'd be more likely to do that. And it's also going to provide some jobs. They're breaking ground. They should be operational in 2024. They were looking at being able to process 1,500 head a day and employ just shy of 900 people in that plant. So that's another
great.
opportunity.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely as well. If anyone out there, you want to join in our conversation, ask us a question on one of these topics, or have us revisit, if you got a comment you want to add to any of these stories, give us a call, 701-293-9000. Again, that phone number is 701-293-9000. You can always send those questions or related topics to our email during or after the show, weather or ag@flagfamily.com. But if you want to get your voice heard right away, give us that phone call, 701-293-9000. When we come back, we might have our guest in studio. She's on her way. She ran into some issues, but...
Yep, she's texting me right now. She's probably out on the street close by. We'll have her shortly.
Perfect. There we go. So stay tuned. Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll be right back.
Choose the proven performance of the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, featuring high-yielding Extend Flex soybeans and the exceptional weed control of XtendiMax herbicide with Vapor Grip technology. Elite genetics, triple herbicide tolerance, flexibility that delivers results, backed by 25 years of innovation. That's the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, the system of choice. XtendiMax is a restricted-use pesticide. Always follow stewardship practices, all pesticide label directions, and check with your state pesticide regulatory agency for specific restrictions in your state.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development. From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
At CDW, we get sometimes your teams have to be in two places at once.
Tell me about it. Our team lead needs to be at a wedding this weekend, but the big presentation is on Monday.
No need to panic. CDW experts can help you implement Citrix Workspace. It allows secure access to desktops from any device. Management is easy, and everyone in your office can stay close to their files and apps, even during the Cha-Cha slide.
Well, talk about having your cake.
And eating it, too. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Citrix.
Hey listener, welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's Jay and Ronnie from the Coffee Club, and we're here to tell you the original My Slippers are almost completely sold out. My Slippers has a brand new all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98.
This is a limited time offer, so go to mypillow.com, use promo code WDAY, and get all new footwear for as low as $29.98. All-season slippers are made with exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper.
They are finished with a breathable fabric so you can wear them all year round. Slides and sandals are made with patented impact gel, making them ultra comfortable and extremely durable, guaranteed. They will make the most comfortable footwear you'll ever wear.
So just go to mypillow.com or call the number on the screen and get your very own all-season slipper, slides, and sandals as low as $29.98 with promo code WDAY. This is an introductory offer, so it won't last long. Order now. Call 800-875-0644.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us. 1:23 in the afternoon. We got 65 degrees right now, although windy. Wind gusting to 33 miles per hour out of the southeast. Haven't hit that forecast yet, but we will throughout the day. We will see increasing amounts of sunshine throughout the rest of today, though. Once these clouds leave the area with temperatures reaching into the lower 70s, should pan out to be a fairly nice afternoon after a couple of stray isolated showers trek through the Northern Valley and Central Valley out into Minnesota. I'm here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Ag Director Bridget Riedel, and we're getting our guest all squared away. She's on her way in, and that would be Amanda Nigg, and that is a friend of Bridget's, and we're just getting her on the microphone, so we'll be talking to her here momentarily. And Bridget, how do you know Amanda?
So, believe it or not, I do actually work out. I mean, I know I'm way better at standing around and talking. But Amanda, known as Farm Fit Mama Online, she is my trainer, if you will. She is a farm wife from Sisseton, South Dakota. She helps me prep with all my workouts, gets me rolling, and is the person that also helps me try to eat better. I've seen the way all three of us eat when we're together. No.
Well, I was just eating McDonald's, so is that a no-go, the McDonald's?
You can, but you got to be better. Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
So, Amanda, if you want to go ahead, did I miss anything in that introduction? And what can he do? What can Justin do about his McDonald's?
I mean, you can have McDonald's. I teach lifestyle changes, so it's not like you have to give up food to enjoy life. That's one of the things we preach about Farm Fit training is it's instead of handing you a cookie cutter program or like a strict diet nutrition, I'm educating you on how to fuel your body correctly through everyday nutrition. And so that incorporates, fast food. We live in a very fast food paced society. And so you can still have McDonald's, but there's options on the menu that are a lot healthier for you than, let's say, chicken nuggets and french fries.
No, and the place that this makes the most sense is for so many of us involved in ag, especially this time of the year with harvest, just making better choices of what we're doing and eating on a daily basis, because our good nutrition can lead to better mental health, less stress. That's kind of the road that Amanda started on, was wanting to feel better mentally, and it led to everything physically too.
Well, and what is the fitness level of the majority of our farmers? I mean, because I know, like, if we're busy with work, and let's say we have severe weather and we're covering that and it's nonstop, and it's by the end of that, I'm like, I'm just too darn tired to go to the gym, or too tired to work out. So how do you motivate our farmers and ranchers to keep in shape, and what percentage of them would be considered obese? Because the majority of our nation, by standards there, are considered obese, which I think that needs to be changed, but that's another day. But
that's a whole nother topic, actually.
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
But how fit are our farmers and ranchers?
Well, I mean, we live in, or the agriculture industry as a whole is a very hands-on, how do I want to put this? It's a very hands-on industry where we do a lot of manual labor. And so there's things that we do, for example, today, I cut it really close on getting on and not missing you guys, is like our equipment broke down. And so my husband needed my help lifting something and fixing the combine so that we can get back in the field. And so it comes back to that because of the fact that, we're very manual driven like industry, and there's a lot of things that we do that other industry doesn't do. And so fitness plays a huge tool into that, where it's lifting tires, lifting parts, moving equipment. Like, there's a lot of things that we do as an industry that other industries don't do, plain and simple. And so to go into that, as far as the obesity side of things, I mean, a lot of farmers, I mean, I hate to say it, we invest so much time into our crops, our equipment, we're always making sure that they're at the top of its notch. And then when it comes to our own personal health, we lag. Mm-hmm. I mean, plain and simple, we're busy, and I told Bridget this as well, as we're the world's biggest gamblers. I mean, we gamble when it comes to markets. We gamble when it comes to our equipment. We gamble when it comes to the weather. And so there's a lot of added stress in just that alone that plays a toll on our own mental health and our physical health as well. And when you look at that as a whole, like, we're a very stressful industry. We really are. I mean, we put a lot into God's hands. We, like, we pray for wet rain when we can get it. So that we can have good crop to sell. And again, we invest so much time into our practices, but we fall short when it comes to our own mental and physical health.
So what do you do to help them out? Do you put them on a nutrition plan, a weightlifting plan? Yeah. What do you do to help?
Exactly what you just said.
Okay.
So Farm Fit Training, the whole idea came about when I was struggling with my own mental health. I've always been in the fitness space where I've done those challenges you see. I've done those workout programs at home. I live, the closest gym to me is 45 minutes. Oh. So, I mean, I had to get creative, especially where, I don't know if you guys know my backstory, is our house burnt down. So we built a forever home that we planned on raising our kids, our family in, and it burnt down the day before the national pandemic. Oh. And so we lost everything. Like, literally, I walked out of that house, not even wearing my wedding ring. And that was the time, the next day, COVID hit in the whole nation. I know you're not supposed to mention the C word, but the whole nation went on lockdown and everybody was buying gym equipment. And so for me, that whole 2020, I had to get creative with stuff around the farm, to continue to work on my own mental health, because for me, I was at a very low point, and it was just like, okay, there was a lot of things that I couldn't control. And it was like, how can I give myself time to unleash these insecurities that I have with what's happening in the world? And especially with us, where we're now dealing with insurance, trying to figure out, hey, how can we get paid out? Which, that's a whole nother thing. Insurance is a whole nother ballgame when you have to deal with them, especially when you lost a whole house. And having to deal with that. And my husband knew that, for me, I needed that me time. I needed that time where I could work out and really work through those frustrations that I was going through. And that's really, truly where Farm Fit Training came to light, is I started posting online, and I started sharing my own path with it. And a lot of people are like, what are you doing? Like, you're in incredible shape. Like, you're keeping up with your boys. I have two very active little dudes. I always tell everybody it's my job to keep them alive, because they climb.
Not wrong. You're
like,
not wrong.
They're into everything. They're just miniature. My husband's Louis Nigg, and they're miniature Lewises, I call them. And so they were just super active. And it's just, for me, having that 15 to 20 minutes of my time and to invest in myself. And so that's ultimately where Farm Fit Training came into play, is I wanted to give farmers, and not just farmers, like all of ag industry. We're talking people that work at John Deere. We're talking people that work at Titan. We're talking people that work at FBN, for example. Everybody that is behind the scenes to help agriculture industry. And I wanted to give them a space where they could take that 15 to 20 minutes of me time, but also impact their mental health as well.
So we're going to come back and talk about that. We've got to go to a commercial, but we want to finish discussing how that works, the things that you do for your clients, such as myself. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a challenge. Nobody said sit-ups, though, right?
Justin wants to have a
I
push-up.
think we should do planks.
He wants a push-up challenge.
Oh, I got
I'm
you.
in for planks.
You got me?
Okay.
I got
all
push-ups.
three of us.
All right,
Then.
there we go.
All three
Right.
of us.
Pay attention out there when you're listening, folks. We are going to be back. You're going to want to hear how this goes. And if you're not watching us on Facebook Live, you should be, because this ought to be quite the show. We'll be back just after this.
80% of North Dakota providers recently polled said healthy electronic use in kids has declined. The mental health crisis in our region is an epidemic, and we need the community's help. Please visit Dakota Medical Foundation's website, take a brief survey, and share your voice today.
There's a new force of nature coming your way. It has zero emissions, plus the rugged versatility of a Subaru. Presenting the 2023 Subaru Solterra with 8.3 inches of ground clearance and standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. This all equals money-saving safety and reliability. Check out the new Solterra today at Muscatel Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead, or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Love is now electric.
People with chronic lower back pain have often tried lots of different things, and most of those things just don't work, and they're searching things that do work. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a type of treatment done with a specialized machine that has very high success rates, and we're lucky to be one of the few clinics in the entire state that has it.
My name is Sydney, and I had debilitating back pain for 11 years. I went into the clinic to receive treatment. After 8 treatments, I had been feeling much better. After those 8 treatments, I was back to playing volleyball, golf. Dr. Z at the clinic helped me get back to the sports that I love.
A research study performed on low back patients that had already failed medical, chiropractic, and physical therapy, in other words, the surgery group, had a 90% success rate with decompression treatment. So whether it's chronic lower back pain, sciatica, knee injuries from running, neck pain, headaches, or shoulder problems, the clinic can help. Find us at theclinicnow.com. That's theclinicnow.com. theclinicnow.com.
I'm David Chapman, and I'm a candidate for district judge. Our courts were designed to interpret and enforce the law. Our courts were not designed to write the law, which is the job of our elected legislators. In North Dakota, our judiciary carefully respects this special role, and I am a candidate because I wish to use my years of experience to continue that tradition of enforcing the law regardless of personal preference. If elected, I would be honored to serve.
Paid for by David Chapman.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Does chesting mean masking is over now? Because now I'm confused again.
Rip shot of that one. I don't know about if it means masking is over, but I guess your tube top could double as a gator now. So there you go. Leave on a high note. Oh, man. Oh, God. That is awesome.
Weekdays 2 to 5 here on WDAY.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Nearly a third of North Dakota young people said they felt hopeless in the past year. The mental health crisis in our region is an epidemic, and we need the community's help. Please visit Dakota Medical Foundation's website to take a brief survey and share your voice today.
Welcome, everyone, to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridget Riedel. I'm the Ag Director, along with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, Meteorologist Extraordinaire. Psh, I got it today.
Sound effects are free, ladies and gentlemen.
And our special guest in studio with us today is Amanda Nigg from Sisseton, South Dakota. You know her on social media as Farm Fit Mama and Farm Fit Training on Instagram. And I'm happy to have her here because maybe this fills in for my workout with her today. I just get to do it with the guys.
No, it does not count.
I'll have to look
at cheat day for you, Bridget.
Better look at what I'm supposed to do. It's Thursday.
I see that war bell up there.
Yes, that's the war bell. For those who can see us online, that is a 35-pound war bell. It looks kind of like a kettlebell with additional handles. Justin thought it was a suitcase weight for the front of a tractor.
And it looks like a miniature one. I thought it was like a small replica for working out.
That is mine that I use for most of my workouts every week. So we have Amanda, and if folks want to call in and talk, they can reach us at 701-293-9000. We'll also take your emails, ag or weather, at flagfamily.com. So, guys, we had lots of questions during the break. Are you going to ask them in public now?
Sure.
Okay.
So, Amanda, how do you if somebody wants to, like, oh man, I really need a new fitness plan, do you go out and travel from farm to farm to help these farmers? Do you have an app? How does it work?
So I have an app. Everything is online.
Okay.
And when I was looking into, when I got certified, for example, for personal training, a lot of personal trainers do it in person. I don't. I'm 100% online business. And when I was looking into it, I really wanted to understand how to be able to bring a space where people can log into something and see their workouts, you know, be able to communicate. It also takes that awkwardness away where I have male clients, you know, I don't want them texting me at 9 o'clock at night. My husband would be like, what the heck is going on? Like, oh, it's just a client, no big deal. But
don't worry about him.
You know, I wanted to give it a space. And so I do have an app. It's called Farm Fit Training. I ended up branding it and everything. So I'm really excited about that. There's a lot of exciting things that are coming out in my app, but in this all-inclusive app, not only do you get the workouts, but we teach nutrition. And that's the biggest thing is like nutrition is 80% of a workout program. You know, there's so many workouts that you see on YouTube for free and stuff like that. But, you know, there's got to be methodology and a system behind what you're teaching. And so in this app, which Bridget is a part of, she's been with me for over a year.
Yep.
And it includes all of that where you know, in the one-on-one coaching side of things, it's all tailored. It's tailored programming, tailored nutrition. And because everybody's needs is 100% different. Like if you guys came into the program, you're going to be a lot different from a girl that's 5'1" and 125 pounds. You know, and so nutrition needs to be tailored. And it's really cool is I teach a system and I give you tools to be super successful. So I don't hand you a program where you're going to eat chicken and rice for the next 6 weeks. Like don't get me wrong, I love chicken and rice, but I have a freezer full of beef. And we get a half a cow from, you know, our local butcher. And so my husband would have looked at me and been like, I'm not eating that because I cook the food for everybody, even our hired help right now for harvest. And which is funny because they love it. They're like, how is this part of your plan? Like tonight I made lasagna and they're like, how is this part of your plan? And I'm like, oh, it's healthy. Like you know, you can simply swap out like the type of noodles you use and, you know, for like chickpeas, which is, chickpeas noodles are high in protein, high in carbohydrates. And then, you know, so it's looking at nutrition from a different view. You're more looking at it as how do I fuel my body correctly to make so that it functions at its ultimate best. Because by fueling your body correctly, you can see those results that you're working for. Like they had this huge case study, and I actually shared this when Bridget and I recently did a podcast where in this study they talked about they had two groups of people, and one group of people did one round of like four movements, but they went till failure, where this other group had like 9 rounds and they had to do a set number, like the volume was set for them, reps. And so between these two groups over the course of 12 weeks, the ones that had the most success was the ones that did the 1 round for failure because they pushed themselves a lot harder. And so a lot of people, especially, you know, where you see on social media is like these workouts are like 45 minutes to an hour. And it's like, that's not going to work for our space. Like, and it doesn't work for me as a mom of 2, busy. You know, I do a lot on the farm. Like yesterday for my birthday,
yes,
I was all day in the grain cart helping my husband. And so it's understanding our industry and understanding, hey, like an hour workout is just not going to happen. And so when I created that Farm Fit Training, I took that ideal of, hey, let's do quick workouts that are short and effective, and then pair that with nutrition, which I teach something called macronutrients. And to put it blunt, is macros, the word macro means large. And so our body requires certain types of nutrition in large amount, and that's protein, carbs, and fats. So I teach you that methodology and I teach you that system. And then you learn how to fuel your body with everyday foods. Like I've partnered up with an app called Dashing Dish, and we make Sean and Katie, which are absolutely fantastic. In the horizon, by the way, there is a nutrition app coming out for me. But right now I use their app, and they have over 1,000 macro-friendly meals that you can make from home, and lasagna is one of them. You know, you're learning how to make normal staple foods, and just making those simple changes has a profound effect on how to fuel your body.
Right. So like Dean and I, we like our meat, we like our beer.
Well, yeah,
I've
got Bacardi and Diet in here, and you know,
that looks a little clear.
Vodka.
There we go.
Straight vodka.
We don't have to cut the beer out. We can work around that and
correct.
Kind of tailor that nutrition with that in mind. You know, just kind of balance it out in other places or do something a little differently.
And that's what Amanda did for me, was just redefining the way I thought about how I was going to eat, making sure I took extra protein in when it was appropriate. But also the flexibility of the fitness. Instead of I have to be at a gym at a certain time, I have to be online with my trainer. She's got the app set up, and there's folks in our group that, like Jody in Wisconsin, she is up every day at 4:30 in the morning. That's what she does. She does her workout. I'm more of a 5 o'clock in the afternoon type gal, but it works out because we can choose how we want to do it.
And the workouts are how long again?
Usually 20 to 25 minutes.
20. I think the longest workout would be 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're like 15 to 25 minutes, but they're at your own pace.
Yes.
So like I give you the time, how long it would take you, but again, it's at your own pace. So instead of like, putting a movie in or hitting play and you have to go at the pace of what you're watching, you're going about these workouts at your own speed. But I obviously teach intensity, like, you want to up your weights. I help coach in that aspect as well. And then I also help coach, hey, I give you a time of how long this should take you so that you can challenge yourself through the workout and push yourself, being like, hey, I don't have time to take a rest here. I need to move quickly into this next movement to be able to get close to that time. But we all see that. And I also see, like, if you have a smartwatch, it links to the app. So I can see your BPM, and I can see how you're challenging yourself. It's very all-inclusive. Like, there's a lot of really amazing benefits built into this app so that us as trainers, we can really dive in and be able to help you excel. And excel where you're at is the important part. Everybody, just like I was telling you guys on the break, is like everybody comes into this at different spots in their own physical health, and for example, some people don't even work out. Like I had a guy that's been one of the original OGs. He's original gangsters, if you want to know what that stands for. He's been with me for over a year and a half, well, almost 2 years, because 2 years will be in February since I launched. And he started out at 400 pounds, and he's now on to 280.
Wow.
And he travels all over the United States. He sells molasses, and he's all over the United States. And so he does a lot of fast food.
Yeah.
And so I coached him on that. He's a lot different from Bridget, who came in and she does a lot of her, she's home in Fargo, and she's able to, be able to make some of her meals at home. And so that's the beautiful part about what I've created is we really tailor it to where you're at in your journey and where you want to go, because everybody has different visions where they want to take their health journey.
And so with the app of yours, say I download it on my phone, how do you go through that process? How do I get that? Is it completely customizable, like you were saying to me, like this is what I'm looking to get out of it, and then you make something that goes forward with it? Or is this something that's like kind of automatically selected, recommended that you should do?
It is. Oh, so first it's the application process to get into my program. The reason for that is we do get a lot of applications, which I'm honored and blessed. But at the end of the day, us as trainers can't take on a certain number of clients. So we do have a cutoff. There's a lot of times where we have to turn away people to be able to be on the one-on-one coaching side of things. Now where Bridget's at, she's in actually something called Legacy, which is my online gym membership. Now the only way you can get into that is you have to go through one-on-one coaching. So Legacy itself has about 200 members, where the one-on-one coaching side of things has currently about 85. And on the one-on-one coaching side of things, I have two amazing coaches, Tracy Johnson and Jamie Pearson, who went through a 3-month training course with me. Because I'm very a perfectionist when it comes to my baby, and my baby is farm fit training. So I want my coaches to understand what I require of them, and and that in turn it plays a huge success. I mean, we have tons of testimonials that I have yet to post on social media of clients that kicked butt and took names. And it's a really cool spot to be in as a business owner too, because it shows, it shows that our program works, and what we teach and what I've created, it works for anybody and everybody in our industry. And so the application process to get in is about 45 minutes long, and it's more me getting to understand where you're at. There's a lot of questions in that application where, they're personal questions. Like, I want to know what drives you. I want to know how you tick, where are you at with your mental health as well, because you can't work on your physical transformation without tapping into your mental health as well. And that's something that needs to be addressed across the nation, not just in the agriculture industry, but ag alone in the last 2 decades has increased over 40% in suicidal rates. And so when I read that study, it was just like, I want to change that. Like, I want to be able to offer something that gives them a space to be more work on their mental and physical health, but also instead of handing them a number and be like, here, call this number, let's give them an outlet where they can feel confident in their own skin again.
Okay, and Amanda, we have Al. Al, we've got about 45 seconds to a minute. You've got a question for Amanda.
Okay, yeah. So I've noticed over the last few years there, being on the road all the time, getting a Subway or loaf of bread there, they must be putting some serious preservatives in the stuff now, because years ago you'd buy a loaf of bread, 3-4 days later it's starting to get moldy. Now that same loaf of bread lasts, almost a month and it's still soft.
Yeah, I mean, just our society alone. I don't know if that was directed to me. Was that directed to me?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I'm going to answer it anyways. But Al, to go back to your question, our society, we do put quite a bit of preservatives in foods, especially in the fast-paced, or the fast food industry, because that's how they market it. That's how they're able to bring
sodium too.
There is a lot of sodium, but there is healthy options too. Like, that's the thing too. A lot of people shy away from carbohydrates or fats because they look at carbs and they're like, oh, I'm going to gain all this weight. Well, it's understanding actually, hey, you can still have carbs, like complex carbs. Those are great for you. Like, instead of, like, if you go to Subway, for example, instead of getting white bread, go more towards like the hearty wheat. Get the whole grain bread, because you'll have more success that way as well.
Al, we really appreciate you calling in and asking the question. Thank you. We are going to be right back, though. We're going to continue to talking with Amanda Nigg, Farm Fit Mama from Sisseton, South Dakota. We've got lots more things to come
And
up.
we're going to have our plank and push-up challenge when we come back.
Here we go. We'll be right back.
Oh, I had so much...
West Funeral Home in your difficult time.
For over 100 years, families of the Red River Valley have turned to West Funeral Home. Our mission is to care for grieving families with the utmost of compassion and loved ones with dignity and grace. To learn more about us, visit our website at westfuneralhome.com. Discover the difference.
West Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center. Little things make the difference.
Need an escape? No, not a vacation. An escape from your basement. Here at Precision Concrete Cutters, we specialize in egress window installation and replacement. So not only do we provide you an escape from your basement, but we provide sunlight into that dark, dreary space to make you feel like you're on vacation. Okay, maybe not, but you will relax knowing that you do have a safe way out.
For more information on egress windows, go to pccnd.com. That's pccnd.com.
Do you suffer from stiff, achy, chronic knee pain? Have you been told you have arthritis? Is knee pain keeping you from enjoying your favorite hobbies? If so, the next 60 seconds could change your life. Please listen carefully. If we find you're a candidate for our unique approach, we'll do a trial treatment, and day one, you will know without a doubt if we can help you. Pick up the phone right now and call 701-353-2230. And best of all, we may be able to reduce and even eliminate your knee pain without pills, shots, or surgery. But due to limited capacity, you must call now at 701-353-2230. Hurry, call now to find out if you qualify for our program that is changing lives and helping people save time, money, and agony. Call now at 701-353-2230. You have nothing to lose, so call right now.
Florida soybeans finished quietly choppy with wheat under pressure on Thursday. This is the American Ag Network of Jesse Allen with this closing market update. Well, spread unwinding, end of the month profit taking and pre-report positioning. We're all active in the grain and oilseed markets today. USDA is going to release its quarterly grain stocks and small grain summary reports tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Time. And the trade is looking for September 1st corn stocks, the beginning of the new marketing year, to come in roughly 90 million bushels above year-ago levels, and looking for soybeans to come in about 27 million bushels higher than a year ago. Trade's also looking for the final all-wheat production estimate to shrink about 5 million bushels. Now, the most likely place for a market-moving surprise would be in the corn stocks number, but we'll have to see if USDA does throw any surprises in the report tomorrow. Still have plenty of economic anxiety out on Wall Street as well. Another sell-off in the stock market led by the tech sector. So we're continuing to watch the money flow issues with the outer macro markets and how that weighs into the grain and oilseed trade as well as livestock. A look at Thursday's final numbers. December corn down 669.5. March down a half penny, 676. November beans up 14.10 3/4. January up 4 1/4, 14.20.5. October bean meal down 12.70 a ton, 409.10. October bean oil up 196 points, 67.48. Chicago wheat December 7 lower, 8.96 1/4. March down 7, 9.08. December KC wheat down 9 1/4, 9.66 3/4. Spring wheat December down 6 3/4 at 9.65 3/4. March spring wheat down 7.5 at 9.69.5. Live cattle for October up 107, 144.12. December up 150, 147.77. September feeder cattle up 60, 175.97. October up 232, 177.32. October lean hogs 7 higher, 89.45. December hogs finished 10 lower, 75.72 on Thursday. That's closing markets on the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm. And guys, I'm out of breath. I'm here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, Ag Director Bridget Riedel, and Farm Fit Mama Amanda Nigg. So thank you very much for joining us today, Amanda. And we just had our little push-up competition, and
yeah, that'll be online here before long, and that's why we all are sounding a little winded.
Wait, we all?
Not.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, not Amanda.
And I was going to say, Bridget, didn't you plank?
I actually had quite a few planks in there, and then when Dean's doing I'm going to go all the way to the end, I'm like, I'm just going to plank this. I'm good.
Which planking has a lot of amazing benefits.
Good
It
core,
does.
yeah.
I actually like it a lot more than I like my push-ups, really.
So I actually did a planking challenge before I launched Farm Fit Training, and that's ultimately what I guess guided me into launching the program. Is I did a planking challenge. God, what was it? Oh gosh, excuse me.
It was. That's how
it was
I met
in May.
You. Yeah, it was during the spring. It was how I caught on to what you were doing. We did it for 30 days. It worked out great.
Yeah,
we had to extend our time every day.
Now, planking's supposed to be difficult, right? More difficult than push-ups?
Planking has a lot of amazing benefits different from push-ups. Like it helps with posture. It actually boosts your mood. Mm-hmm. Like if you plank 30 seconds a day, you can boost your mood from just planking. It helps align your body. It helps engage all muscle groups, so it doesn't just work your arms like push-ups. You're engaging everything. So planking is actually very complicated when you think about the actual movement itself, though. Is very simple. So there's a lot of critiques. A lot of people actually do it incorrectly. But back to that challenge is I launched it in May, and I think I had like 800 farmers.
Yeah.
Participating in it, and that they were getting creative. They were planking on barns, tractors. I mean, there's a guy that planked on a bison. Mm-hmm. I mean, you name it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It was semis. It was amazing how many people were sending in where they were at and what they were doing in their time.
You're gonna have to show me when we're done because I've tried it before and I got nothing out of it. So my form must be totally off.
Yeah,
is my
and
guess.
A lot of people think you have to be in a high plank, and actually you work more muscles in a low plank.
Mm-hmm.
What Bridget was doing.
I prefer those. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So, how many clients do you have?
Well, currently we have about 85 in one-on-one coaching, and then in my legacy program, just over 200.
And if you want people to join, like you said, there's an application program. When does your next round of applications open, and how can people be following you in preparation for that?
A great way to follow me in preparation for that is actually to join my newsletter list. So if you get on my newsletter list, I'll announce it first in there. Same with on Facebook. We have a private Facebook page called Farm Fit Training Blueprint. It's great. We do a ton of free education recipes. Bridget posts recipes on Friday as well. Mm-hmm. So that's a great space to be a part of as well when it comes to getting the know and figuring out, hey, when are they opening them back up? But I'll make that special announcement. We just decided about 2 weeks ago, instead of doing a New Year's challenge, we're going to open up one-on-one coaching applications again. So just after the New Year. So in December is when we'll open up applications.
And how do they find your newsletter?
Visit any of my social media pages, and if you click the link it'll come to my links page. And if you click that top link, which says Farm Fit Blueprint, not only will you get my free blueprint, which does have 3 workouts in it, but it'll also give you more of what Farm Fit training's about. So it's free. And then they'll automatically be joining the newsletter list from there.
And what are the social media pages? Farm Fit Mama?
I'm on everything.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm trying, except for Snap. I'm not over there.
Okay.
But I'm on, Instagram's my favorite one. But I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I think those are the biggest ones that I kind of pay attention to.
Right, and your handle is just Farm Fit Mama?
Yep, it's Farm Fit and then MOMMA. It's all one word.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, boy, I'll tell you what, she's got you in great shape. So I mean,
This
she's
is what we do.
She's a testimonial right over here.
Absolutely. This is what we do. And again, it fits that lifestyle of most of us and what we do, not just in agriculture, but that is certainly a focus for us because that's where Amanda's involved and so am I. But just for anyone who looks to have maybe an odd schedule, someone who wants to change how they think about their eating habits. And it wasn't a big change. I'm not buying any extra food or doing something like that. I just figured out what works best for me.
Because I know a lot of people say that, you should eat, you shouldn't skip meals, because your body is an engine and you have to keep feeding it. Otherwise, it starts storing stuff as fat. But I can imagine in the agriculture community, you just don't have time.
Yeah.
So yours is a perfect fit for that.
Well, and to go into that, what you just said, that statement you just said, a lot of people do skip meals or do that intermittent fasting. And I did some myth busting on that because the fact that our body needs fuel, like to fuel it properly, to give us energy throughout the day. And so there is a balance between it, and there's the education component that we teach about it. But at the same time, a lot of people just don't understand that. And I can't tell you how many people in the agriculture space have snack packs. That's one of the things we teach, high protein. And I should mention that, like, what I teach is macronutrients, but it's a high protein diet because we're carnivores as natures. Like, our human body loves meat, and that's the best way to build that lean, sexy muscle, but also to shred fat faster. And so I do teach a high protein diet because there's so many studies out there how benefit it is when it comes to the human body and fueling it correctly. But with that being said, you still have to pay attention to healthy fats and carbohydrates as well.
That's great. Well, we want to thank you, Amanda, very much for coming on here and sharing what it is that you do with us and to all of our listeners out there across the area. And we want to thank you for listening today. We're going to be out of here in just a moment, but remember to find us on Facebook, Weather and Ag in Focus. We're still giving away 2 rain gauges on there. All you got to do is find the pin, post it to the top, and drop a comment, which is a picture of something weather or ag or a combination of the 2, and we'll pick 2 winners live tomorrow during our show.
Tomorrow. Giveaway Friday.
WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo Moorhead.